In a two-stroke engine. Now what's a two-stroke engine and a four-stroke engine? You know what it is? In a two-stroke engine, there are over 125 to 130 moving parts. Not the engine block and things like that, moving parts. There are 120 to 130 moving parts. In a four-stroke engine, there are 70 to 80 moving parts, which actually move. Movement means friction, lubrication, all this friction is there, so lubrication, how easily it moves, not touching something else, all this needs to be taken care of. So in you, in terms of your energy body, there are 114 moving parts. Moving not necessarily mean moving this way. These are the things that are called as chakras. There are 114 chakras. These chakras have manifestations in different places. They are in your palms. Okay, let's understand this way, we're talking mechanical. For these chakras, for them to turn or for them to move or from them to be activated, there are switches in various areas of the body. Palms, soles, the inside of the palate are some of the important parts of your body. Spine, very important part of the body. So the inner palate is one of the areas where there is… Have you ever gone behind this dice? You've seen all the switches? You won't know which is which. There are only 2-3 people here who know how to always switch on the wrong light and do all that. We won't even know what we're switching on. So I went yesterday because all the lights were on, you all went out. I didn't know which, I just switched off everything. Then I found lots of light was still burning. And I thought, okay, maybe it needs some code mantra or something which I don't know. I switched off all the switches, these 2 lights were burning and a few other lights were burning here. So I did not have the code, so or the secret mantra or whatever, I did not have that, so I just left it, okay, at least I reduced the electricity consumption, I left it there, I didn't want to disturb because they were all sitting. So, where the switches are, you must know, otherwise you cannot activate them. These 114 positions, in a mild way, in a very mild way, they have a physiological manifestation. If you touch your upper palate, do you notice there seems to be some lines there? Who has a big mouth? Whoever is good with their arithmetic, open his mouth and slowly count carefully. It will be 114. All of them may not be properly manifested, but there are 114 spots. These are 114 switches to the 114 chakras in the system. Right now, just a few lights are on. The others you don't know the code or you don't know where the switch is. So slowly you move this like this. The idea is to switch on all the 114. If you activate all the 114 chakras in the body, out of this, 112 are within the body, 2 are just outside the body. If you activate all of them, then the whole pranic system becomes active. If the whole pranic system becomes fully active, if it becomes vibrantly active, if you sit here, you won't have any sense of body. You have to remind yourself that there is a body, otherwise you won't know. You have to consciously look at this, otherwise you won't know. That's how it will be. Like when you sit for shunya meditation, you have found some parts of the body are missing. They still go missing or… they do. So some parts of the body are missing, not because it has become numb. Do you notice this? It's not numbness. See, numb means it would become like dead due to lack of circulation. Here, because of a new level of aliveness, because of a heightened level of aliveness, you find a part of the body is missing. So this can happen to the whole body. When the whole body is like this, then you have no sense of body. Once you have no sense of body, the fundamentals of what you call as spirituality is just to transcend the limitations of the physical, that's all. What is spirit? People can give it names, Atman, soul, Paramatman, this, that, these are all just improving your vocabulary, that's all. It's not spirituality. You can give a million new names, you don't get any closer to it. See, right now you look up at the sky, because you think it's so vast or so beautiful or whatever, you start giving it newer and newer names. You call it Akash, you call it this, you call it that. If you give it a million names, it doesn't get you 1 inch closer to the sky, isn't it? You can't stand upon your words and reach to the sky. So just by giving yourself names like Atman, Paramatman, Jivan, this one, that one, whatever, you don't get any closer, you just befool yourself with more and more words. That's the reason why here we are refusing to use the word Atman or soul or anything, you is enough. You're in existence, that is enough. There is no need to give it one more name and one more name and one more name. But if you begin to experience yourself, when your experience of life transcends the limitations of the physical, that is when you're spiritual. Spirituality does not come because you pray or bray or whatever. It comes because your experience of life has gone beyond the limitations of the physical. So when you sit for shunya, you have transcended the limitations of the physical in parts. But going in installments is not sufficient. It's all right, but it's not sufficient. So we are seeing how to make the system so vibrant that if you sit here, there's no feeling of body. Once there is no feeling of body, everything is a conscious process. When you experience yourself as the body, everything is a compulsive process. See, the difference between an animal and a human being is just this. An animal is existing purely as a body. Because of this, his life is purely compulsive. A human being is largely living as a body, a little bit he has awareness of not being the body. To what extent he is aware, that much is conscious. Rest is compulsive even within him. Is it so? To what extent you are not the body, only to that extent you have choices. To what extent you are the body, all that is compulsive, purely compulsive, isn't it? Now you sit here, it doesn't matter what I am talking about, watermelon, compulsiveness, isn't it? Isn't it so? Body compulsions. I also ate the watermelon. I also came here and sat at 1 o'clock. Till 7:30 in the evening, I didn't go to the bathroom on the watermelon day. It's not because my bladder is bigger or I am controlling something, nothing. It's just that it's a conscious thing. When I feel the bladder is overly full, I remind myself I need to go to the toilet. There's no compulsiveness all the time. It is not that you want to control it for 24 hours or you want to control it for 2 days, there's no point in such things. This is not about control, I'm just using that as an example. But this is so with every aspect of your life. Once your experience of life goes beyond the physical, then the physical doesn't rule you, it is no more a compulsive process. It becomes a conscious process. Body has its compulsions. It neither has to make you suffer, nor does it have to be something to you. It is just a simple physical process that you need to handle, that's all. If you're driving your motorcycle, if it runs out of petrol, if it's running out of petrol, you're concerned because you don't want to push and go. Similarly with the body, you're concerned that you don't want to push this body and go by ruining it, by not eating or not going to the toilet or something. So you want to take care of it, you will make sure that enough petrol goes inside, what has to exhaust has to go, it'll go, all this you will take care. But it is no more a compulsive thing, it's not experientially compulsive. Physically it is still compulsive. You understand what I'm saying? Physically it is still compulsive, but experientially it's not compulsive. So the whole aspect of spirituality is to take your experience beyond the limitations of the physical. So activating all the chakras means it creates a distance between you and the physical. When energy becomes vibrant, it creates a distance in the sense. See, what you call as life energy, what you're calling as prana, we can look at it like the glue. It's the glue. Know what's glue? Not goo, glue. This is the glue which sticks you to the body. The being is embedded in the body only because of this glue that we call as life energy. So all the sadhana that one does, all the kriya that one does is only to melt the glue, to make it little more fluid. Now, you want to be in the body but still not stuck to it. So, because the glue is hardened and stuck, there is no distinction between you and the body. If you make the glue more malleable and loose, now it is still stuck but there is loose. If you completely activate the glue in such a way that it completely melts off, then you get disentangled from the body. So if you become loose inside the body, we call it samadhi. There are various states of looseness which we call as various states of samadhi. If you become completely disentangled, mahasamadhi. All that you're doing is, you are working with the glue, you're not working with the spirit, you're just working with the glue. There is nothing to do with the spirit, nobody can do anything with it. You're just working with the glue, just the hard glue that is stuck. It's become dry long ago, now we're just melting it down so that a little bit of distinction comes between you and the body. And someday, when we want to disentangle ourselves, that also becomes a conscious process because the glue is loose. Right now, you just applied Fevicol and stuck it here, it is still wet. If you want to remove it, you can remove it, isn't it? Once it becomes dry, now if you want to remove it, something has to tear, otherwise it won't come. Right now, that's a condition. The glue is hard and it's all stuck properly. Now we just, with sadhana, just melting it down, making it like fresh glue so that it gives you little space. It'll give you the freedom that now you're with the body by choice, not by compulsion. You're not there trapped in the body, you're there by choice. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. You being in a place because you want to be there, you being in a place because you have to be there is a huge difference in life, isn't it so? Being somewhere, whether it's your body or this place or any place or in this world, being there willingly and being there unwillingly is a big, big difference. That's the difference between heaven and hell. If you're in any place willingly, that's your heaven. If you're any place unwillingly, that's your hell. It doesn't matter what the place is, isn't it? Isn't it so? It doesn't matter what's the situation. If you're in a given situation willingly, it's your heaven, isn't it so? If you're in the given situation unwillingly, it is hell. So, just shifting life from a compulsive process to a conscious process, bringing that little freedom where one can choose. One is not compelled to be in a certain way. So 114 switches, trying to turn them on.